Hello. Hello. Here we go. Now this is going to be fun. When I Met Led Zeppelin. Ooh, exciting. Well, this was back in 1969 when I used to live in London. I was a crazy hippie, right? Picture this, right? I had long hair, I had round John Lennon glasses, ragged jeans, sometimes bare feet, and a blanket with a hole in it over my head, like Clint Eastwood. Fuck knows why, but a lot of us used to wear that kind of shit. So that was me kind of garb as a hippie. And I was living in squats and kipping in parks and shit like that in 1969 in London. And there was many rock venues. There was the Roundhouse and there was UFO Club, various places. But the main one which I used to go to was the Lyceum Ballroom. It's a big theatre in the West End of London. And they used to have all-nighters and it was £1 to get in. £1! Now in 1969, £1 was a fucking lot of money. Right? A quid was a lot of money. You could buy £1 deal of cannabis. Today it's probably going to cost you 30 quid that. So look at the maths on that, right? And so £1 was a lot of money. And it was £1 for an all-nighter at the Lyceum Ballroom, and I had like 3 or 4 top bands, right? And this particular night, Led Zeppelin was on, right? And I wasn't particularly excited about it, but I like going to the Lyceum anyway. So what used to happen, this was what we used to do when we were stinking hippies, right? We used to go to the back alley of the Lyceum Ballroom, and there was fire exit doors next to the stage doors. And what we'd do is, we'd all club together and get £1, and then send one of us round the ticket office to buy a ticket to get in. And that person would come through the theatre to the back and unlock the fire doors, and all of us cunts would all get in for nothing, right? And it was a bit hazardous actually, because the bouncers used to catch you, knock fuck out of you and throw you out. So this particular night we're all kind of, there was quite a few of us, all congregated outside beside the stage doors and the fire doors. And we're just hanging about waiting to get in somehow, right? And suddenly a big, like a Rolls Royce or a big kind of limousine, like a big limousine pulled up, and the doors were open and a couple of bouncers got out, and a guy who could have been the manager with the beard, the big guy, I can't remember, Peter, could have been Peter Grant, but there was a couple of guys with dicky boards, like proper bouncers, and then the band got out, like flowing silk scarves and long leather coats and all that jazz. Like, that's fucking Zeppelin, it's fucking Zeppelin. We're all excited, right? So I walked straight up. Well, I'm fucking crazy. I wasn't on drugs at that time, right? But I walked up to either Robert Plant or Jimmy Page. It wasn't Bonzo and it wasn't John Paul Jones, right? Because I remember. And I went up and I went, "Hey man, can you let us in the back door with you?" Yeah, look, that's fair enough thing to ask, isn't it? And Robert Plant or Jimmy Page says, "Listen man," because he was polite, he said, "Listen man, if we let everybody in the back door, there's nobody going to come through the front door and buy the tickets." I thought, well, that's fair enough opinion, bit of a capitalist idea, but there you go. So then they fucked off and I never saw them, right? So at some point I must have got £1, because I remember going in there, and I went in there and I took some acid, or LSD as we call it as well, right? So I was out my skull on acid, right? Fucking having a great time, right? But I tell you what, I never got to see Led Zeppelin. And I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why. And I did this all the time, because it was on every Friday. Me and my buddies, what we used to do was, when we're out of our heads on acid, we'd go into the women's boudoir. It was beautiful, and seating areas. I mean, not the pissing area, because that's a bit fucking not, that's out of order. It was the front bit before the toilet area. They had lovely seats. It was dead comfortable. We used to go in there and just hang out and chill out with all the lovely hippie chicks and chat with them, right? Because they used to work at Carnaby Street and up at Bieber and up in Chelsea, and they were really pretty cool chicks, right? So we used to hang about there and just talk shite, and when we were out of our heads on us and kind of wave our hands around, woo, woo, I'm out my head. That was fun. And I remember in there, right, all that, and the memory's a funny thing, but I can remember in the kind of rumbling in the background, possibly a whole lot of love or fucking some big fucking Zeppelin-y type noise, right? But I never ever left the boudoir. Fucking crazy, that. Fucking crazy. But I just sat in there talking to the girls, right? I think, because the memory's a funny, fuzzy thing, right? Is I remember later, because there were 4 bands on, there was always 4 bands on, or 3. I remember going out and seeing Deep Purple. Richie Blackmore smashing his guitar and going fucking bonkers and the lights flashing and all that. I do remember that, but I never saw Led Zeppelin, and it pisses me off because I would have loved to have seen Zeppelin, you know that? I really would. And that's my story of how I met Led Zeppelin. And I just want to send a warning out. Kids, don't do this at home. See ya.